Welcome to another video on game development with Asha Akanksha Foundation. In today's video, we will be creating a mountain terrain. So we will explore some more features of terrains and work along with these features to create a beautiful setting for our new game. In this video, we'll again explore how we can arrange the scene in a different way for our game. So I've created a new scene and let's open it. This is an empty scene. Let me delete these. Okay, so now we're going to move on to, yeah, now we'll move on to place our first terrain. Let's create a folder for that as well. Right, and now we'll position it as minus 500 cost minus 500 minus 500 because size is 1000 and that's gonna make it be placed at the center. Now what we're going to do is we're going to paint the terrain. We're going to raise the terrain to a very mountain-like uneven plane. So for that I'll use a bigger brush and I'll increase the opacity so that it gets raised to a larger. So first let's place the let's paint the terrain with the texture so that it's so the whatever we shape that's more visible. So we'll add a layer. That's the grass layer. Yeah, that's cool. Now let's check out the game. Where's the camera? Let's position the camera to a height of 200 and rotate it a little downwards. Right. Now we're going to raise our region. Get the brush, get the free perspective so that it's visible. And now we're going to, right. So now we're going to paint it out to raise it. We'll need a stronger brush, I think. Sorry, paint, we're still on paint texture, so that's why it wasn't getting raised. Now that we've selected the other one, so I've raised the basic regions here on the terrain. Let me now select a smaller brush and make those uneven regions. Oops, let me retry. I'll make sure I don't make changes to the end. Okay. Oops. I'll get the top perspective first to see what we're creating and then again get the brush. I think I'll need a bigger brush to smooth out the regions a little. think this seems cool. Okay, getting back the free perspective, let's start making the roads. For that, we will click on set height, and that height is going to be 50, I think. Let's try it out. 100, or let's try 100. Select a smaller brush. Size 18 should be fine. Let's try it out first. See what actually happens when you use this brush. Okay, so when we're applying this brush, it's basically making the height of that region flattened. That's actually how we want it to be, just to make the road. So that's going to be our road around the mountains. Okay, it looks pretty cool, to me at least. So I think in these regions we can decrease the height a little, the width of the road a little. We can keep it narrow, and here around the bigger mountains we'll keep them wide. So working on the roads as we go around, we need to get some perspective of the ground so that we can refine it properly. So we're going around here. Now we want to take a, let's take the brush again. And instead of moving around this side, I'd suggest we take some other route. This seems better. Like wherever we might not require, so something like this. Let's complete one whole stroke of the path, and then we can work on the details later. Let's get a more zoomed in picture as to what actually is happening here. So I'll get a hold of some region. We'll zoom in. Yeah, the quality is fine. Even though like when I zoom out, it may seem like there is some sort of unevenness here, but that's not actually true. That's just something that we see when we zoom out. It's actually pretty clear. It's just that right now, just for optimization purposes, it does not show everything as exactly as it's supposed to. So that's where we were, here around this area. I think we're almost complete, almost there. Just, oh, we've actually completed the bath. So let's go to the top view. Yeah, this is our bath. Now we can actually thicken the roads wherever they're too thin. We can take a wider brush for that too. Cool. So let's go back to our car, place it at some point, and start traversing this road. So we'll go to the prefabs, drag one of them here, set its height to 100, place it. So let's just place it at somewhere we can see it. Yeah, I think I can see the car now. Give some perspective. So we place it at 100, 100. Place the camera at 100, 100, 100 and 105. We can see it. So let's check out what direction the car is placed right now. I think it's, we need to, I think that's okay. We can rotate the car in any direction later. But let's add the player controller and start the game. So I've imported this Global Games free ground textures for the ground that we're going to lay out. I'll import the assets. Right, so it's almost done. Now going back to our assets folder, let's check out the materials that we have. So we have these different kinds of grasses, rocks, and sand. So I'm going to use the sand one. Let's just try it out. In the terrain, all we need to do is, here's the car. Let's focus on the car. Go to the terrain, create a layer for the sand one. Now let's apply it here. We'll select it, apply it here. Check out how it looks on the ground. Right. So this seems fine. You can apply the other ones as well. You can try out the different textures, see which one seems better to you, and that would be it for this one. So we'll lay it out on the whole path. All I need to do is just grab the brush, paint it out properly on the. So right now I'll just. Right. So now I'll paint it properly. Take a narrower brush for this. Yeah, it seems fine. Also, I'll decrease the opacity so that the grass beneath it also is visible. So if we check out these areas, so all we need to do is just paint these areas out. I'll paint a small region and then we'll leave it at that. You can try this part on your own. You can even look for other assets such as, say, roads or any other materials on the Unity store that you like for your game to place as the ground. Right, I think this part is enough. Let's try out our game to see how the ground looks. So with this terrain, we have started our journey with the multiplayer racing game that we're going to create in this third project. So in the previous videos, we had created some segments of we have stepwise moved towards creating this racing game. And in future videos, we learn more concepts that will help us add more features to the game.